welcome to another show. Thank you very much for watching. I am Todd T. Riley.
I'm Scott Johnston.
I'm Angie Muchmore.
How are you now? And we are
Yes.
the Sound
Effect.
Effect. As you notice, Dee's not with us. Dee has decided to step down from the show and take a break from it. We don't know how long that's going to last or what's going to be taking place with that. So in the meantime, we decided to do much more. Have our lovely friend Angie Muchmore on the show with us, helping us out. So thank you for being here, Angie. Appreciate
Absolutely.
you. And we'll probably have a couple more guest co-hosts in here as well.
Todd's just really hard to work with, but I mean, you know, he's kept me here. I want to take a break too, but he just won't let me.
I won't let him.
My keys are locked.
I make him come in here and hand me his keys so he can't leave.
Won't
So
be the first time, but hey.
thank you for watching again. Our special guest in studio tonight is my friend, singer-songwriter, guitarist, Chris McCarty. Thank you for being here tonight, Chris. Welcome to the show, brother. It's good to have you, man. Good to have you.
It's good to be here. I'm excited. Been excited thinking about it.
We're looking forward to it, man. We've been looking forward to it for a while now.
Cool.
So
Very cool. Coming up a little later in the show, we're going to have Chris perform for us here in the studio. That's going to be live, and we have a social media poll. I want you guys to make sure that if you haven't voted already, to be sure to vote. And we'll be going over the results of that a little bit later in the show.
what is the poll tonight?
The show tonight, the poll is who had the biggest impact on the 90s in grunge music, Soundgarden or Pearl Jam? So I know they've been battling it out. It's been very close. So,
it's
like
a
I say,
close
get your votes in and see what direction it swings by the end of the show.
Yeah, first let's get into some music and entertainment news.
Very cool, very cool. So the 91st Academy Awards took place this past Sunday night, and this is the first time they did not have an official host. Queen and Adam Lambert opened up the Oscars with a Freddie Mercury tribute, which is only fitting as Bohemian Rhapsody was one of the 5 nominations and actually earned 4 Oscars. The most any film, including Rami Malek's first for a central role, which he took home an Oscar for Best Actor for his performance as Freddie Mercury.
He killed it in that role.
He did. The film also took Best Sound Mixing, Best Sound Editing, Best Film Editing. It was up for Best Picture, which then ended up going to the movie Green Book. Award voters extended honors to several blockbusters, including The Black Panther, which earned several technical awards. Was the first superhero movie to earn a nod at Best Picture. Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper performed "Shallow," which, if you guys have seen *A Star Is Born*, I mean, that was a good movie. I'm actually,
Yeah, it was really good.
I was kind of surprised. I almost thought that maybe he would get it. You know, but you know, it went. It was a flip of the coin for me. It was a flip of the coin for me.
That performance they did on the Oscars was fantastic.
Absolutely,
Really
absolutely. And I
see
mean,
that, Chris?
No, I was working.
You missed it.
No, I didn't miss it. I was working.
well, what was
I feel
cool
like
is
if I missed it, like I could have seen it. Oh, I missed it. No, I was
Gotcha.
working, man.
Gotcha.
Lady Gaga ended up taking home her Oscar for the Best Original Song, the first Oscar. I mean, she was,
Well deserving, I think.
of course, she was dressed to the hilt, you know, wearing a necklace with a 128 karat yellow diamond, which is reportedly worth over $30 million. Kind of, you know, wow.
I wonder if
But they're all
anybody's
gonna
really
agree.
tried to like run out of the place with the diamond necklace they're wearing that's worth
My
that much
island
money.
always wanted. Give me that.
You know they're renting this stuff though. You know what I mean? I mean,
No, actually, a lot of the times what happens is these designers will get people like her, because they're so famous, to wear their jewelry so that it's talked about on the show and they get this free publicity and everything like that. So,
But I mean, if those guys with the big bucks, I would think would be the ones to buy it.
yeah, that's
Who the
true.
hell has
That's
$30
part
million?
of the thing.
You know, hey, I saw Lady Gaga wearing it. Can I have one?
Part of the reason they do that, though, is to get somebody like that going, well, I love that necklace. How much is it? I want it, you know. Or somebody to buy it because Lady Gaga wore it at the Oscars.
Or somebody like me that'd be like, you know, I saw that one, but could you make one like scaled down a little bit, like, you know, what can I get
cubic
for?
zirconia?
Yeah,
Cost me about $100 maybe.
you know, I don't know how many. You know, I don't know what the clarity is of mine, but you know, can you be like white Lego clarity for me? Because I can afford that. But I don't know, guys. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of buzz around those two, and are they in love and all that good stuff. I mean,
Yeah, you see that one look she gave him? And she was singing. She's all looking at him like, ooh.
oh, and they're like, oh, they're just acting. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, there could have been a chemistry. I mean, like at some point, for anyone to be like, "This is great. We like the way that they are together." You would think that they have some kind of chemistry that they made. So
Right.
maybe in the acting, in the motion, in the moment of like, "Hey, it's me and you. We did this before on set. Now we're at the Oscars. It's really me and you. Like, man, we're really doing it." Because you never really know.
Sure.
But I mean, you know.
Well,
That's
they-
great. We're talking
But it was
about
cool,
so,
though.
yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Well, they reportedly did have a great chemistry, and that's why they did the movie together because
Because they have something going on. You're right, Scott.
Yeah,
They
they could have something
They may. You never know.
Right, you
She
never
went
know.
over to his house and they sat down and stuff and did a couple of songs before he even picked her for the movie. So
But that's before they had chemistry, so they probably didn't do anything at the house.
wanted to see what kind of chemistry they had.
So you want the role, huh?
Come on over and let's see what chemistry we
You want an
have.
Oscar? I got you.
I'll make you
I'll
sing.
get you that. I'll make you a star.
No, but honestly, they did have really good chemistry
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
in
they
that
did.
movie. If you guys haven't watched it, you need to go see it.
Yeah,
You
both
definitely
both
go see
those
it.
movies, Bohemian Rhapsody and Star is Born, were just like the two music movies of the year. They just killed it, man. They were both awesome.
Now you got an Elton John movie coming out, which, you know, I'm sorry,
I'm actually interested
I
in
don't know.
seeing that.
I mean, I want to see it. I don't know if it's going to be anywhere on that level of either one of those.
Have you ever seen Elton perform live?
Well,
Unfortunately, I have not.
not
other than
not-
videos. Stuff
Other
that
than
I've seen.
videos, no.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
I've
I
seen
could
once,
imagine
and
it'd be
I-
awesome.
I'm curious to see what the movie looks like because I've seen him one time and like it was fun. It was cool to like, man, this is Elton John. I was in
I
Vegas.
seriously wanted to see the
Yeah.
tour he
No,
did with
that's
Billy
cool.
Joel.
That's cool.
That would have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
I heard it was too.
I'm
so,
sure.
Yeah, that would have
I'm
been really
sure.
cool.
And then the other movie that was announced, which there's no way it's going to be anywhere near as good. Although I do want to see it, is Dirt, the Motley Crue movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who the hell cast that one.
You
I
never
mean, they
know,
don't look
man.
like the right. I don't know.
That's true. That's true.
But I mean, I don't know. Of course, I'm
Hey,
still
we'll
going to go see
we'll
it. It's
see,
Motley
yeah.
Crue.
It's
I mean,
Motley
why not?
Crue.
It's going to be. it'll be
Yeah,
pretty
and
cool.
it's from their biography, so it's got to have some.
Which I haven't
There'll be
read the
some
book.
good dirt
I mean,
in the
I've
movie.
heard it's awesome though. So I mean,
yeah,
we shall see. We shall see.
Isn't it cool how they're doing like they're going into the comic books and making a whole huge scene of like Marvel movies and DC movies, and now they're going into music and making a whole thing on like just biographies. I mean, it's just I'm excited to
You're
see
right.
what's going to happen, man. It's really cool to see how we as people are like gravitating towards the arts in that fashion.
Absolutely,
you know, the cartoons and
absolutely.
now,
Yeah,
like, movies and music and like
Yeah, absolutely.
I just love it. I love it.
I love it too, man. Especially being a fan of music and stuff like
Did
that.
you guys
so.
see the Whitney documentary, Whitney Houston?
I have not.
No, I
actually.
did not.
Guys,
I'm gonna have to watch
you know,
that.
I was always like, nothing with that. Woo, sing it, Whitney. When I saw the movie, I was like, that poor woman.
Really?
You just got to see. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and these documentaries are amazing. They're really
Cool.
doing a good thing.
I'll definitely
So
check that one out.
Check that one out.
So the official music video for the new Queensryche song "Blood of the Levant" was recently released. The song and video are based on real events that sparked the onset of the Syrian war, and it's the first track from the band's upcoming album, The Verdict, which will be released on March 1st on Century Media Records. And it's going to mark Queensryche's third full-length release with Todd LaTorre following the departure of Jeff Tate in 2012. And we are hoping to have Todd here in the show sometime in the very near future. But it's going to have to be after this because they are getting ready to go on a spring U.S. headlining tour with special guest Fates Warning. It's going to kick off on March 2nd in Orlando and make stops in several major markets, and will wrap up on April 3rd in Seattle. The Cringe will be joining both bands on select dates. For the past 2 years, drummer Scott Rockenfield has been taking time off from Queensryche's touring activities to spend some time with his young son, who was born in early 2017. got to give him some major kudos for that. Stepping aside from a band that he was a part of for so many years and such success, but to be a good dad and take care of his son, his newborn son, that's pretty cool. Not sure whether he's going to come back to the band yet or not. There's been no word on that, but filling in for him is former Camelot drummer Casey Grillo, and Latore, who has been playing drums since the age of 13, laid down all the drum tracks on The Verdict. So looking forward to hearing the rest of that. Saw the video the other day, and it's really killer. It's really good. It's a great song, but then, hey, everybody knows I love Queensryche, so.
True. Very true, very true. So Peter Frampton, the legendary guitarist whose 1976 record Frampton Comes Alive is still one of the best-selling albums of all time.
Live albums. Yeah.
Live albums. He's revealed that he's going to stop touring because he has a rare degenerative muscular disease, which is, obviously that's sad to hear. Frampton said that he's been furiously recording music while participating in a new drugs trial at Johns Hopkins, where a team of doctors have been coordinating with treatment since he was diagnosed about 3.5 years ago after a fall on stage, which inclusion body myositis, I could be pronouncing that wrong, a rare incurable inflammatory condition which that causes muscles to weaken. It slowly affects your finger flexors. Since October, he recorded 33 new tracks. And he said he's been doing as much as he can for obvious reasons. But the disease has progressed gradually, and sometime around last September, October, that's when he came off a tour after he fell. Now they're saying, it's nothing, life-threatening, but it is definitely life-changing. So
yeah, the article I read about it where he said that it affects his fingers. It's going to be the point where he's not even really going to be able to play very well at all anymore. Which, as a guitar player, that's a rough thing to go through. So
yeah, I got a friend, one of my old friends, like first guy I actually started playing guitar with when I was like 16, 15. He has MS. And, it's crazy to learn from this guy playing the guitar, and now he can't even play the guitar.
Wow.
So I'm sitting here being like, man, I couldn't imagine. We were together. My first ever show was with this guy. And I'm making a career every other night, and he can't even pick it up.
Yeah, that's
heartbreaking.
It definitely is. And as we get older, you start to notice these new aches and pains. And,
right.
Boy, my hand hurts. I don't know if that's from typing. And it's like now you're playing guitar going, man, it still hurts. What the heck's going on? It's like,
I was
damn.
doing this in my hand. I was like, what's going on? Oh, man, you say that. I'm like, oh, no, I'm getting old.
Now, if you ever see me record, I do the same thing. I'm like, yeah, okay. I can just get the blood flowing. I don't know.
yeah,
I blame age.
Sucks getting old, man.
Yeah.
To satisfy fan demand following a sold-out show in Brooklyn on Friday, July 26th, British heavy metal legends Iron Maiden has now confirmed the second night at Barclays Center on Saturday, July 27th on the Legacy of the Beast tour. That is going to be the very last show they do on this tour in the United States. Tickets go on sale Friday, March 1st at 10 a.m. on livenation.com for that one. The latest date completes the final tour routing for America and North America. No further shows will be added. And as always, there will be exclusive pre-sale for Iron Maiden fan club members, and I'm one. But too bad it's in New York. The band's triumphant first leg of the tour opened in Europe last year to outstanding critical acclaim, including the Times UK newspaper calling it an extraordinary show filled with a world-class theatrics, a masterclass in performance and staging. If you've ever seen Iron Maiden, you understand why that might be said. However, this production is based on the mobile game, The Legacy of the Beast, which basically takes various incarnations of their little dude Eddie into many different Maiden worlds. Lead singer Bruce Dickinson said it inspired them to put together a stage show to take the fans through those unique worlds and experiences set to appropriate songs, with the end result being the most spectacular and certainly the most complex show to date, with all kinds of crazy things going on, including a replica Spitfire plane dominating the stage during Aces High, You're going to have tons of pyro, a giant Icarus, muskets, claymores, and some flamethrowers, which Bruce has said he's having a lot of fun with on the tour.
I bet.
So, along with Eddie, of course, as you've never seen him before, and absolutely loads of other surprises. Maiden's 2019 North, South, and Central America tour comprises 41 shows in 6 countries, which combined with the band's 2018 European dates means that by the end of this tour, the band will have taken the Legacy of the Beast show to over 1 3/4 million fans around the globe.
Wow.
That is just phenomenal. Maiden packs the arenas when I remember they were here last year, and I went to the show, and that place was just slammed to the rafters, man. So for the majority of the 2019 shows, Iron Maiden will, in conjunction with the promoters, I think this is super cool, they're going to be implementing a digital ticketing system in as many venues as possible. This technology is being used by the NFL, among others, and is a progression of the paperless system that Maiden has been successfully using since 2010. And it's worked well in lessening ticket scalping and the drain of prime tickets into the secondary market, which I think is a really cool thing for a band to do, because there's people going out there and buying these tickets and then turning around and scalping them for hundreds of dollars more, and it's just made ticket prices outrageous this year. And I mean, these years,
Very true.
it's just
Very true.
crazy. I remember I could go to a killer concert for like $15, you know, but
Right.
but that ain't happening
anymore.
anymore. You know, it's outrageous. So let's check out what events are going on, and let's talk to our man Chris. Got some cool, super cool events coming up. The 9th annual edition of Florida's biggest rock experience, which is Welcome to Rockville, returns for a massive 3-day weekend with over 50 bands. It's taking place the weekend of May 3rd through the 5th at Metropolitan Park in Jacksonville, Florida. It's going to feature must-see headlining sets from some of the biggest names in rock, including Tool, Korn, Rob Zombie, Incubus, The Prodigy, Shinedown, and Judas Priest, along with bands such as Evanescence, Chevelle, Killswitch Engage, Tom Morello, The Cult, Skillet, In This Moment, Black Label Society, Papa Roach, just to name a few. I mean, there's many more. It's a killer lineup.
That's
It's gonna
probably
be
one of the
a pretty-
best shows I've heard come around this area in a while, honestly.
Yeah, that's going to be really
That's
awesome.
messed up. They didn't mention me. I'm sorry.
They didn't mention me
You should
either,
be
though,
headlining
but
that show, my man.
maybe we should go out
Me
and
and my
play
acoustic
on
guitar.
stage B.
Get up there and give Judas Priest a run for their money.
Watch this.
In addition to performances from top music artists, minus Chris, and various on-site attractions, attendees will also enjoy food and beverage options, celebrating local Jacksonville flavors. General admission and VIP tickets, as well as hotel and camping packages for Welcome to Rockville, are on sale now at www.welcometorockvillefestival.com. Check it out. Be sure to support their sponsors while you're there. It's going to be a really great time, and the Sound Effect is hoping to see you there.
Very cool. You know, we got a few concerts coming to town. I think you might be interested in. Over the next few months. I mean, basically, coming here. I mean, this next month is rocking. I mean, we got on Friday, we got March starting. There's Steel Panther, Willie Nelson, Pink is playing, Lionel Richie, Bob Seger. You got the Steve Miller Band, Mushroom Head, Buckethead, Candlebox, John Mellencamp. I mean, coming up, we got Kiss, ABBA, Whitesnake, Temptation, just to name a few. I mean, there's a boatload of different bands coming from all different spectrums, and I mean,
Some good tours out there.
Tonight, I'm trying to remember who's playing tonight, because I usually don't mention it, because if you're watching the show, you're missing it. I don't want to rub that in, but I think Wayne Newton's playing tonight.
Wayne.
Wayne Newton got nothing on the sound effect.
You're watching Wayne Newton. No, I'm not saying you're too old, but
But we've got Chris McCarty.
yeah, exactly. So
Forget Wayne.
yeah, forget Wayne. Also, what's really cool is you mentioned Korn playing. Korn and Allison Chains just announced an epic headline tour coming
That'll
up.
be cool.
That's gonna
Great
be awesome.
Co-headlining like that, yeah.
And I mean, this was just announced. So I mean, you need to check your area, see when they're going to play near you. I know also Under Oath will join as a special guest on all the dates. So I mean, it's It's going to be pretty cool. So, I mean, check out all these bands' websites. Check out the local venues near you and see when they'll be playing.
So, Chris, it's a pleasure having you here, my brother. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome to the sound effect.
Yeah, man.
Good to finally
it's
have
funny,
you in
last
here.
week I was talking to Todd. I'm like, hey, it's a show. Is it this week? Next week? I'm excited to be here, man. I've been waiting for it, so I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we've been excited about having you in here, man.
Cool.
It's been a long time coming because we've been
man,
when's Chris coming on the show? When's Chris coming? So give us a rundown of like when you got your start in music. What got you going in music? How old were you?
Man, I can remember being like 4 years old in preschool. There was a talent show, and me and this other kid, I remember his name was Michael Chang. Shout out to Michael Chang. So me and Michael Chang, 4, and we're doing a Michael Jackson song, and I remember seeing my dad's glasses on this ledge before, at the house, and I put them in my pocket, and we got to the place, and we're doing our thing, and I just pulled them out of my pocket and put them on my head. They were huge. They fell down and whatnot, and I remember the crowd laughing in that moment of they like that, that's that thing, that thing of the stage. So I was 4 when I first ever was on a stage, and then went to summer camp, and then you're in summer camp, so you're like 9 or 10 years old, right? And that's when the ego starts to kind of come in. You're figuring out who you are, and girls and such. And a counselor and I, we lip sang. It was a Run DMC song. I think It's Tricky. And it was the first time that people, your peers are, cheering. Yeah. And I remember being like, "Ooh, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. I got to do this," And then when I was 15, I've always loved the drums. I'm just a rhythm guy. And when I was 15, there was this expo. So, businesses are always trying to, push their business out. And we went there, and there was a music store. And there was this drum set, this huge drum set. It was beautiful, right? And there was a jar, put your name in, and I'm gonna win the drum set. Put my name in the jar, whatever. And they called me 2 days later, and I'm like,
nice.
I won the drums.
You won the drums.
You won a guitar. I was like, a guitar.
What am I supposed to do with that damn thing?
No, I was 9 years old when I won the guitar, and for the next 6 years, the guitar sat in my closet.
Did it really?
Wow.
Yeah, and then I was 15 at summer camp, and it was just summer camp was cool. It was like one of those hippie summer camps where every time at lunchtime, the counselors would get around and they have these books and old time songs, and they'd sing 3 songs, and I just loved being involved. I loved being involved, and I just man, I have to be playing the guitar. That's the one thing I need to do, and I taught myself how to play the guitar, having no idea, and that's really just the love of music, and I just taught myself how to play, and then started writing songs because it was cool, and I was a little just different. I love being different, and so when you're 15, 16, and your parents go through a divorce. My parents went through a divorce at that time, and it was just you're awkward, and it was just music was the only thing that felt good.
Right.
No matter what,
right.
my parents would they'd wake me up, or I'd have headphones and I'd fall asleep with headphones on. I just had to have music. No matter what. I remember being in 7th grade taking a test, and I had this jacket on with a hoodie, and I had headphones on, trying to take my test, listening to the music. I just needed it, no matter what. It was
and
too
you
loud,
still
never
walk
heard.
around with headphones on today.
I still, my shirt is or I can't take it off, but I have a lion head with headphones on. I just have to. So, I don't know if it was a spiritual thing, before I came here, or it was that, but it just felt good. You can't see it, but it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you just kind of go towards, that's what we do. We go to the movies, we like entertainment, we have sex, we do drugs, we do whatever it is that people do to make them feel good. And that was my drug, and that was my obsession, was just music. And I'm still obsessed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're good with it, man. When'd you write your first song?
I was 15.
You were 15.
I will play you guys my first ever. It's so lame. I mean, 15. But yeah, it was called Every Night. Yeah, I remember writing my first song Every Night.
Very cool. Did you ever end up playing the drums or getting a drum kit?
So I never got a drum kit. I got percussion hand drums. The story is my mother was a nurse anesthetist. So she would work, 48-hour shifts, 24-hour shifts, 72-hour shifts. And it was like, no, you're not having a drum set in the house. No. And I'm like, no. You know, so, but I actually got my son a drum set. He's 6. So
That's
I'm like,
cool.
all right, if I couldn't get it, I'm going to hook you up. But I got him the electronic drums.
Right, that makes
Smart move.
sense.
Put your headphones on. Go ahead. He's just, and I'm like, get it, son. I can't hear anything. Get it, son. Yeah.
And neither can the neighbors.
Right. Just go. So that's it. Yeah, man, that's the drum thing. And so when he's not there, I mess with him.
Yeah.
But I don't ever let, because, I want to show him up. Like, this is how you really do it, son. I don't want to do it anymore. So I just, Do you guys play the drums? Anyone play the drums? I know you play the
I've
guitar.
actually got a drum kit, and I can kick a beat, but that's
Okay.
about it, man. I can
Todd,
kick a basic beat.
I
That's
get
about it.
discouraged because what I want to do on the drums, I mean,
It's just
being
not
into hard
moving,
rock,
right?
man,
Right,
I'm like, I can't
get
do
it.
that.
I get it. I get it.
I can do a basic beat, but I mean that's
all
just
you need, I guess.
I might as well just get a drum machine and do that. I mean, I'm like, come on, what I want to do is just
Right.
and even if I could do it, it's like it's going to only last for like 30 seconds. Man, how the hell these
Right.
guys keep that going?
Right.
Man, we all have gifts, don't we? I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, you see some of these drummers, you're like, how are you moving your hands and feet and keeping time and you just know it's a gift.
That's
Yeah,
to me.
especially
I
when
mean,
they got 4 of them going at once, and it's
I
all
can-
just crazy, and you're like,
I can pick up and play any instrument. I guarantee you can hand me something I've never even seen before, and I'm going to make something
music.
cool out of it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the thing is I think the hardest instruments are drums and piano, not keyboards and synthesizer. But I mean, I'm talking, piano and drums are the most difficult instrument
That's
to me, anyways, to play.
interesting. I hear you on that.
actually, a lot of people say the piano is one of the easier instruments to learn, but
I hear that, but I too.
There's
maybe we're
no,
guitar guys
they're
or
not
whatever.
playing the
Yeah.
right tunes, man. I swear.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Nobody
they're
wants
doing
to hear
this,
me
like,
play
they're doing
either.
the bass. They're doing
Neither.
the bass and they're doing the lead. Like, whoa, it's not this. I can do this all day. Da 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 da.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
doing, I don't know. I don't get it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, being a
do it.
guitar player, I know my scales well, so I can dabble with some scales on the
Exactly.
piano, but I can't sit down there and rock a piano. I can't rock it. I don't.
That's
I
cool.
don't know the
And
chords
then you got
everything.
then you
enough,
got this
so-
crazy dexterity again. Left-handed, you're doing all this. Now you're like gonna hold this key down and start doing all this other stuff. That's like I said, I'm getting old. That's when my hand starts hurting. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's gonna be my excuse.
Yeah, not only that, but on
Damn
the
carpal
piano
tunnel.
it's different because on a guitar you're doing all your notes on this hand, but
Right.
on the piano you're doing your bass hands and
and
your
that's what
chords
I'm
on that
saying.
hand,
And that's
and
what
you're
I'm
doing
saying.
your notes with this hand.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
it's
That's
exactly the
just
opposite.
foreign
when-
to me. Like,
yeah,
wait a minute. Like,
Yeah.
all
So-
all day, but wait.
a little bit stranger, but I can pick up a bass and rock it just like I
Right,
can a guitar.
exactly.
Of course,
My
it's
God.
just 2 strings less.
My God.
But actually, we didn't give a shout out to our man Doug Myers over here for working the gear for us. Thank you, Doug. Doug is actually a drummer,
See, Doug
so
knows.
Doug can rock a kit.
knows.
Doug's left his kid at my house before. I got on that and got off really quick because I'm like, damn, I just can't do this.
That's between you and your wife.
We're talking
Oh.
drums. We're talking drums here.
Oh.
You obviously haven't talked to my
She was
wife,
like, why are
otherwise
you
she'd be
paying
like,
attention to the drums and not me?
Yeah,
I don't
right.
understand. Like,
So, what were you talking about earlier with Chris?
I was talking about how interesting it is that number one, you have a song featured in The Sims 2.
I do.
I
do.
played
That's
The
pretty
Sims
cool.
2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear the song?
Yeah.
You know, I heard it was in like a disco.
Yeah.
I never played this, which is cool. I'm proud to say that I never played the. That would have been weird. Like
I was
let me just
addicted
hear
to
what
The
I
Sims.
sound like on the video game. I didn't do that, but I heard it was in a disco or something like that.
Yeah, it was
Something-
really super
that
cool.
is really
That's
cool.
cool.
I was addicted to that game for a little
That's
while.
Cool.
For a little
so, like,
bit.
I heard like Fortnite. It's almost on like the people with Fortnite. This generation, I never played Fortnite. I don't know, but they say it was kind of addicting, like Sims.
Yeah.
It was like really big.
It was really
People were
cool
into
because
that.
it was so, you could build your own life. You had to go to work. You had to, pay your bills. You had to clean your house.
Gotcha.
You had to have social skills. So it was
you
kind of
like
fun.
live a different life, like
Yeah.
almost
So
kinda
instead
like,
of actually doing that in reality, people
Right,
do it.
right.
Yeah.
They fake it.
Just like my son.
practice,
Hey, you want
it's
to go out?
practice.
You want to go out and play catch? Can we do it on the damn game? No, of course you can't. Jeez.
It's like people who can't handle rejection. I'm gonna play Sims all day.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Sorry, I don't care.
I'm gonna get on that hardcore list.
I
I'll just
promise
turn
you.
off.
Yeah.
Wow.
She turns me down. I'm burning her freaking house down. Is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build a swimming pool. You want to go swimming? I'm gonna remove the ladders, and guess what happens then? Yeah, exactly.
They reject you on The Sims too.
Do they really?
Yeah.
But it's not the same. You're not like heartfelt like.
Yeah, no, they don't really react like that, but it's
that's
more
it.
like a.
Oh, they just. Oh no, got you. Okay.
Step back.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
right.
They're just not trying to hear it.
So how'd that come about for you, man?
I look up to as if I'm looking for the answer. No, I think we were in Atlanta doing some kind of conference, a music conference in Atlanta. That's what it was. And at the time, the band I was in, the Chris McCarty band, we were doing pretty well, I guess. And we had the song, and they offered the conference, said if you pay X amount of money, we'll put your song on this compilation CD, which goes out to everybody. Did it, and then someone from EA contacted us. We really like the song. Can we have it for our video game? We said yes.
That's cool.
And went into the studio, and they gave the lyrics in Simlish. So you hear that weird like.
Yeah, it's
It
pretty
literally
wild.
took me 4 hours. If you listen to the song, it's insane. Like, it's just she went shamana mama ti baba, and it just took me so long to get it, but it was really cool. So, yeah, that was what they paid us well for it. So that's pretty nice.
Very nice.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's
so that's
awesome.
how to answer your question.
Very cool.
Cool.
Cool. Anybody want to ask any questions from the website?
No, not yet.
People being quiet out
They're
there.
being very
If you
quiet.
got any
Quiet
questions, Angie will ask them for you. So if you're
Sure
watching,
will.
All at Wayne. Wait, what's his name? Is it
They're just
Wayne
in
Newton.
awe.
They're on Wayne Newton.
So if you're Wayne
Messed
Newton,
up. Sorry.
forget that
Sorry.
guy, man.
We'll be
Sorry,
at Wayne
man.
Newton's level at some point. We're working towards that. No, but yeah, I think the music thing. It was cool to be involved with, any kind of facet that you're out there and you're living a dream and people are not. We all love acknowledgement. We love it. We seem to need it to some weird degree and for just to be able, like, for you to be like, I played the game and I even heard it. That's just awesome to me, because that connects us.
Right.
And I feel like that's one thing that we're all looking for is a connection. Whether we play The Sims because we get rejection because we're not getting the connection, and it's amazing. Like that, I felt like, oh wow, we know something similar, and that's really, I think, the name of the game of life, to find someone that hey, I matter. You know what I'm going through. You're going through that too, and it just kind of brings a level of peace.
Definitely
And
a
that's what I
connection.
think music does, and that's what it's so great about music, because it is the great connector. It is, you can hear 5 people can hear the same beginning of a note and have the same reaction, like, that's my song. And it's like, wow, you know what I know? Like, maybe we're friends. Didn't know it. So, yeah.
Or definitely could be.
Or we are friends. Hi, friend. How you doing, friend? What's going on?
No, music is all about feelings. I mean, let's face it. There's only so many notes and so many different arrangements. They've all been done before, but life experience is how you implement them and how it comes out. You can know the exact same chords, the same scales, in your life experience and how you feel changes the way that you play them.
And I feel as if, how great is this? Music is song, like art, like anything, as we all evolve, the meaning can change as you evolve.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
hear the song that you
Absolutely.
heard when you were 10, like whatever, then all of a sudden you're 30 and you find yourself wiping your eye because of the things oh man, how amazing is that? So it's like timeless. And that's the thing I noticed when you kept talking about these, I say older bands, but more established bands. It's amazing how people keep going back to that. You're like, Maiden, it was packed. Like, you didn't give me any name of any new act that's around now. You were saying these, and that's what it's like, there's so many, you're like, I don't know, but we know this. And that reminded me of a time when I was here with these people and doing that. So, to have everyone come back together, it's like, wow, this is them traveling through time. It is that moment of, wow, I'm with this person I love, and when we are expanding our relationship while watching this moment, and it's just life is a series of moments.
Yeah.
And when you can capture the moment, that's when people take pictures and they video, because you're capturing a moment.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that really is what we live for. We live for these moments.
And experiences.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
A memory that lasts forever.
Yes. Absolutely. Hopefully it lasts forever, and don't get sick and forget.
Right, yeah. Take a picture just to make sure.
Yeah, well, you said you started a hippie camp, and you remember that.
Oh, man.
I think if I went to a hippie camp, I wouldn't remember shit.
Funny.
I'm just saying.
Hilarious. Yeah, that was before.
Maybe it was a little bit different hippie camp than you went to. But
oh no, it was a hippie camp. I just wasn't a hippie at that stage. So
and I'm not either.
Chink.
Wink, wink.
Don't do drugs.
They didn't see you.
Don't do drugs.
Oh, shoot. That's funny. Any other instruments you play, since we're on that note and we were discussing?
I dabble with, I mess with the keyboards. I consider myself a keyboard or piano player. I mess with the drums, sax, bass, flute, violin. But I'm not. I wouldn't go out and be like, "Hey, watch this!" Like new,
Yeah.
The guitarist. That's my girl. That's my other girl.
Well, I know you're definitely really good at doing the loop.
Thanks, man.
And kicking a little drum beat there with the drum machine and stuff, and just putting a beat out there and kicking a loop and throwing some vocal loops in there and stuff. I've seen you do it several times, and
that was me.
you got that down really well, man.
Bored, boredom. Like, I had, you sit there, you're like, well, let me just, okay, that feels good. Hey, you're just by yourself, and then eventually you're like, I gotta pay the bills. Wait, hey, you need a guy who can do this. Let me come real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, lights are on. Woo! Let's do it again. That all worked out.
That works pretty good.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
You're playing
I
that.
suggest to any artist out there, anyone who plays guitar or whatever, if you can loop, creativity is a must. We all do. We all need it. The world needs creativity. And so the looping aspect, what it will do, it will just allow you to be free. And that's what I noticed, and allow you to just create and just be in that moment. So I tell anyone who can play the guitar or anything, just if you can loop, just try to loop.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, you do it well, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, indeed.
That's why we're friends. You always say nice things. You see that? I like it.
I'm a nice guy.
That's
what can I say, man?
Right?
I try to be anyway.
You're not trying, brother. You're doing. Do
Yeah.
or do not. There is no try.
There is no try. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just being me.
Thank you.
It's in my blood.
See, that's what honesty. The honesty with this guy, people. I need to keep watching every single week, man. Come on now. You want some honesty? There's your boy. Gotcha.
And then there's Scott.
See?
all the niceness
then
is
there's Scott.
put towards our guests, and then you just kick the dog over here. That's why it keeps me around. It's because nobody else will put up with us.
I'm messing with you, brother.
Oh, I know that.
Love you like a brother from another mother.
Yeah, that's what we were saying, and she said I was a better looking brother, and I didn't ask for that question either. That's what it was too. That's what it was too. We're like, oh, we're like brothers.
Yeah, that's right.
He's like, she said you were the better looking brother. I'm like, what? She was lying too. Oh well, whatever.
Hey, did you have something
So,
else you wanted to ask him?
I do. I want to ask you about the movie Beautiful Noise.
What would you like to know?
About your experience, really, because that had to be super cool.
In anything, I feel anything real that's going to change you and alter you and have you grow, you will experience positives and negatives, because it's the yin and the yang, right? So up and down, left, right. You can't have one without the other. So where the experience of being in a movie, being on a set, was cool, sitting in a reading and being in that, and I was a theater major when I was in school. Was operative word. When I was in school for a split second, and so I understood, and I really got jazzed on that. But when you see, I don't even want to say the legalities, you just see people being people, and it was, I believe in the truth. I love the truth. I gravitate towards it. I just embrace it. And I find that once I'm going to come back, but I find that once I embrace the truth, I could tell when people weren't being honest with me. It's just one of those things. And so, and I'm going to call, like, it was years ago. I became friends with the other artists, the other, singers and songwriters. And there was a woman there who was in the movie who had a number of songs in it in a larger role. And we were discussing things, and she was telling me how much she was getting paid for her songs. And I wasn't getting paid that.
Oh.
And so it was like, and so then, you go and say, hey, man, so how much are you? And then they tell you the lie. And so then you're like, and it kills all of the joy in it. It kills, you're like, man, this isn't anything. So it's funny you say that, and you saw me laugh because I don't really discuss it. And they tried to put me on, and hey, listen, I'm honest. I told you, hey, I'm being honest. They trying to endorse me and bring me into it, and I wasn't trying to have it. I'm like, you lied. I caught you in it. It's just not cool. And then, so that was, I know people talk about, you're not supposed to say anything that. I'm just telling the truth. And so you're asking my experience.
How do you know she was telling the truth, though? She could have been puffing her numbers.
Good point.
It was one of those, it was just in conversation. Like, I believe that if you search for the truth, it'll come to you like a magnet. And I also know that I'm a good person, and I love to take care of people. It's a passion of mine. And so because of that, I believe that I get taken care of in this life. And so when a situation comes, when it comes to me and I'm not looking for it, that's to me, God or whoever looking out for me, being like, hey, you're in this situation, be careful. And so when you see that happen, and then you go, hey, and then someone directly, they tell you.
Yeah, I can't believe they gave me 10 grams. What? I mean, oh yeah, you too, huh?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where they're just like, hey, and you're like, okay, and so, and then it's the moment of like, they're asking you more, and they want more involvement, and I already know what's happening, so it's just like, guys, I can't do it. I don't want to. And so you get it, and that was a lesson for me too. It was a moment of, wow, you've got this opportunity, movie, and you want to be in, okay, sure, but then you feel less. You feel like someone took advantage of you.
Right. No,
and
I get that.
Like, man, you're trying to project this thing to be holy and great and wow, and it's not. I can't be involved with it. So I just got out. And so it is what it is, but I don't tell people about it. I'm like, it was a movie I was in, whatever.
Something I did.
Yeah, and so it's great. And I'm happy because now it's 2019. I think that was 2011, I think.
Yeah.
And for 8 years, I didn't talk about it because I don't, but you brought it up, so hey, it's been years. So yeah. But that's the entertainment business. There are people, and it's just people. There are people who are honest and people who are not, and I just try to be around the things that are. But the experience was what I needed. That's why it came to me. That's why I experienced it, and I got a taste of it. And the things that we think are bad, I appreciate them because it's helped me be the person I am, and I really can look at myself in the mirror, and I love who I am based on the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
So it's all right. Yeah. But thank you for allowing me to even be able to talk about it. Clearly, it was still somewhere live.
You needed to vent.
Well, I mean, need or wanted or so maybe like it was in me somewhere, and I didn't remember it. But it's just nice. I'm on a very real, honest kick, and I just look. If you don't want me to talk about your business, don't do anything shady around me. I'll just say it. Perfect example. So today, I'm with the kids trying to go home. It's raining. I'm behind this car with a trailer, and there's a big truck. There's a big line of people. He's trying to get over here. He hits his trailer, hits this car. Then I see this big truck literally be like, "You're not getting in front of me," and run to this dude's trailer. I'm like, what? He didn't need to do it. So I'm like, not my problem. I go, my kids, Daddy, you're going to stop and help? Oh. Yes, but I want to go home. I just want to go. She's there. I'm trying to go home. But it was one of those moments of like, I can't I can't, just in case this dude is trying to do something unjust, I can't allow people do the wrong. So I turned around, I'm in the rain, and sure enough, the truck guy tried to be like, I didn't see him. Kid, I'm the only person. There was no one next. I'm watching it. You saw him. So here I go out and being like, dude, you saw it. And I waited for the cops. I'm waiting for the cops to come. Told the police what I saw. Talk to me first. I saw it. Great. Here's my number information. I'm out.
Right.
I'm about that truth. I don't like it. And so if I want justice for my life, I need to be willing to give justice when it's an inopportune time, because that's just what I feel. And I feel that we need more people like that. Instead of, I'm so busy, I have things to do. We
Amen,
gotta
brother.
be there.
No, that's cool, man.
So that's,
Very
so
cool.
here it is. Like, hey, you don't want the wrong thing. That's why I don't have a lot of friends. Tell you what it is, man.
Well, that speaks volumes about your character, and I can appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. That means you have the same thing. The fact that you can appreciate it, it's in you too.
Yeah,
So,
you're all right.
yeah, you're
Yeah, he said you
It's all right.
Even though I did try to like lie to Todd today and be like, oh, I fell asleep, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's just fun to see him sweat.
My character. I'm a jerk to my friends.
Yeah, they're all looking at me, and I'm like, what? And then next thing I know, I'm all cool, and Scott's like, I take it he was messing with you then by the look on
Yeah,
your
I'm like,
face.
otherwise, you can see all.
It would've been the same thing, right?
He's just turning white as it goes. So he's not here. We're supposed to start in 12 minutes, and he's just getting out of bed. There's no way in heck he's going to be here. You know, there's
So
no
when Todd
way.
gets mad, does he get red or white? Does he get that vein that pops?
No, he,
like
doesn't,
that.
he doesn't get that. I mean, he just,
Actually, I didn't get mad. It takes an awful lot to get me mad.
And
An awful
like,
lot to get me
you're
mad.
messing with me, right? That was good. That's true. That's true. See, something about your temperament as well, my friend. Which is why we get down like
see
that. Like
he's got a lot of practice with me.
Okay. There it is.
I piss him off all the
That's what
time.
it
I don't think he's seen me mad too much. He's seen me mad,
Too
but
much.
not
No,
very,
I
very
don't
rare.
know if I really.
Known you for a long
See?
time.
Yeah, I think I've only
Yeah.
seen you come unglued maybe once or twice, and that's
Right.
probably about it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You know,
pretty
it
rare.
takes a lot.
Takes a lot.
Yeah.
It might have even been
yeah.
at me. I don't know.
You know what I appreciate?
You gotta really
about
I probably
push
deserved
that.
it though.
I appreciate he's very forthright, honest, upfront. Just told me there was a time when we were talking about me doing the show, and the times were off, and I was like, I'm trying to help because Todd's he's a good dude, and he's been there for me, so I'm trying to help too. And sometimes, you know how you sometimes you say too much and you put your mouth and you should I shouldn't have done that. Todd was like, yeah, I appreciate it. The only thing I didn't like was blah. And the appreciation I had for that, the respect I had for it, he was like, he didn't gonna include, he was like, yeah, just not big into that if you would not do that. And I'm like, and that's what I mean, honesty, people. Like, so I want to say, man, thank you for that. That was really
I
great.
appreciate that. Thanks for the
way you
compliment,
handled it,
man.
you were very honest, and it was cool. It allowed me to be like, cool, I get to be open up, and now look at us, even cooler because of that.
That's right,
So
brother.
tell the truth, people, man. Don't be worried about it.
Hey, who was it you toured with this last summer?
Chase Rice. Hey,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Or
summer.
it wasn't summer, it was like
yeah, it was
the
fall.
the
It was
fall,
Chase
right.
Rice. Yeah, Chase, he co-wrote Cruise. Baby, it was song. And he was on Survivor, which got him some more notoriety. And Chase is basically, he's international now. He's, it's insane. I went to Atlanta, opened up for him, and it's just a line of people around the block in the building. So he's got his cult following. And that story, again, my life is a story of faith, right? It just is. And so the way that whole thing, do we have time? Are we good with
Yeah.
time? Okay,
Spill the beans, man.
Segments. Okay, cool. I was playing a show on the beach. Doesn't matter where. I was playing a show on the beach. It's 4th of July. It's a trio show. 2 of my guys are coming in late because they're coming from Gainesville. One's coming from here. It's 4th of July. They're late. I know they're late. I'm supposed to start at 7. I'm playing at 6:45. Like, I'm just gonna be okay. I'm looping. Everyone's like, "Who?" This dude comes out, and apparently he doesn't work there anymore, and just gets loud with me, with all the people there. Kills the just killjoy. Like, if your people aren't here at 7, you're not playing. I mean, he would kind of sound like that. And so, you guys are like, oh, I was too. Everyone was like that. And so I'm like, So I call the guys. They're not gonna get there at 7. I'm like,
I gotta deal with this guy.
so I go in. I'm like, hey, can we talk in the back? Because I'm a civilized guy. I'm not into all that. What? He starts it up again. Current, get your shit. Get out. You'll never play here again. Blah blah blah. And I just go, what's your name? It's. You want a business card? I went, no, I want to pray for you. I don't know what's going on with you. I've never met you. You just talk to random people like this. Something going on with you. So I do that, and it was cool because there are a lot of people who were, supporters of mine. Thank God they were there. Thank you, God, for sending them all there. And they start chanting, "We want Chris." I'm like, yeah, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And they're like, and he sends the other guy next to him. And the other guy's like, hey, man, could you please leave? Because there's a seat. And I'm like, so I'm slowly rolling out. But I told my guys, I'm like, hey, man, something's going to come from this. This is God's land. That doesn't happen to me. So something's going to come. Keep your head up. No ego. Be cool. I promise you not. 6 minutes later, phone hits. There's a band that canceled where they're going to be playing. And I'm like, told y'all we're going. We'll be there. It was the Brown Box of South Beach. Show up at Brown Box of South Beach. Who's there? Chase Renzo's tour manager. Played the show. He digs it. He's like, yo, come to the tour bus. Cool. So we go to the tour bus. At the time I was married. My wife is not with it. But I was like, we're probably not going to make it. So I'm going to stay here because we're tripping. She's my ex-wife, of course, at this point. So I go and we're hanging out. And then 2 years later, they invite me to open up for him in Orlando. 2 years later. So like during that time, I'm keeping in touch, but it's like all natural. It's not like, hey, like, no, just, hey, I'm in Nashville. Hey, we happen to be here too. Come hang out. Okay, cool. And so they had me, Orlando, Tampa, and then Chase invited me to Atlanta, but I'd have to get on the tour bus. And I'm like, I have my kids the weekend. It's like you got 2 hours to make a decision. You got to go. I'm like, I got to go. Thank God at the time the babysitter was like, go, cool. Went to Atlanta, and he actually watched my show.
Nice.
He was always busy before. Really dug it, and then he invited me. The story is real. It was, that was like February 8th. My birthday's on Valentine's Day. And I sent him a text because it was a rough birthday for me. I sent him a text thanking him, and he's like, that's God talking. 2 minutes before you sent this text, I still got the text, I'll show you. 2 minutes before you got to send this text, my opening band canceled. So how would you like to come to LA to play 2 sold-out shows at the House of Blues?
Wow.
Nice.
Be there. So
I'm on my way.
there, did it. And the last show, it's 3 a.m. in LA, and we're on the bus, and I just hear this playing this song. It's loud. Like, we all know what I'm talking about. You all know that voice that tells us, don't go down there, don't. All right. So I don't really know the guy. I know it's his show. He's probably not trying. He's trying to wind down. Like, can I play you this song? You know how many people ask him if that kind of stuff. So I say, all right, man. I think I'm supposed to play this song. He's like, all right. I said, I just got a verse and a chorus. I play the verse and a chorus. He shoots up. It's like, I want that song. So for the next, he's like, just keep playing it over and over. He's got, hey, record this. Hey, and everyone in unders. Play repeat it again. All right, you'll be home, and he's singing it. And so then I flew up to Nashville, and me and John co-wrote "Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy." So the 3 of us finished the song, and then he had me because of that and because of everything else. He's like, "Hey, man, you want to open up for me for my fall tour?" I'm like, "Absolutely, let's go." Next thing you know, I'm in Spokane, I'm in Oregon, I'm in Sacramento, I'm just in cold Michigan, I'm all over the place.
Traverse City, Michigan, where all my family's based.
I was in Traverse City, and those people were so awesome. And it was like 1 degree, I wasn't ready for it. I just came off the plane, and but it was amazing. So that was who I was with, and hanging out with the country folks, man. And it was cool. They enjoyed it. I got to play an hour, and I got to be done at 8, 9, which was cool.
Nice.
And then I got to just hey, I get to
So, I mean,
out. I don't know anyone. Like, yeah, it was cool, man.
So you played. I mean, you played a lot of different gigs, a lot of decent venues. You know, what would you say is the worst one you've ever played? However,
Can we do best first? Because worst.
you can do
Yeah,
that.
I'm like, I don't want to go negative. Let's go positive.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to. But
Yeah, there is no best because they're all different. It's like having like your favorite kid, love them all. They're all different. One that as I've gotten older, I flew to Liverpool, 4th of July, and I performed. As soon as I got there, they took me to a home for the mentally handicapped. So I'm sitting there, and you know when you're in public and you see someone with a disability, and you look away like a weird guilt. Don't stare. You look away. I am sitting on the stage, and I counted 23 people, all with just different physical disability, handicaps, mental, and it was just like, now I'm playing a show I've never done before. I am playing music. Some of them can't talk, but I'm watching them moving, and I'm feeling it, and it's like, and they're, they got fake guitars with one guy, and it's just, it was amazing. It was amazing to see the caretakers saying, like, man, we've never seen this one do that. We've never seen this one react this way and respond this way. Just to that, man, I'm getting emotional. Man, just, I got to bring it together, man. Like,
it was very moving, man. It's very moving.
The connection.
That connection, that purpose. Like, you guys can tell I'm into God. I got to keep it together because I love God so much, and I love all what she's given me. It's like you've got this aspect of, I didn't put you here for profit. I put you here for your position because I need you to do this thing that you may not understand, and I can do anything with a snap my hands. But it's like that moment of like, because when you're younger, you're into your ego, and like, yeah, Grammys, me, cool, and it doesn't happen. You have kids, and then you're like, you get older, and then things change. Like the songs, they adapt and they evolve, and you evolve, and so now it's like, man, I'm in this spot on 4th of July, and everyone I know is probably tanked back home, and I'm in this place with all these people who the world has cast aside and forgotten about, and I'm playing for somebody's baby, and you brought me here because gotta keep it together,
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
it's amazing, and so I'm just so grateful. But that was one of those ones, and I've also had another gig where children, it was cool. Like my family calls me the Pied Piper. I have a thing with kids. And so I remember one time I brought all these kids on stage, and it was just like, go, get low, put your legs in the air. And all these kids doing, and that was awesome. And it was like these parents were seeing their kids on stage, and the kids, and we're all like, and I'm a kid, like, hey, we'll take a bow, we're all taking a bow. Just that, man, those. And it's funny because if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have said Gator Growl. Played Gator Ground in front of 50,000 people. If you'd asked me then, that would have been it. But that was about me, the big jumbo me. Now I'm like,
You've evolved.
yeah. And it's just like, wow, I'm so grateful. So that's why it's like, I don't want to say the worst, I don't even know. Man, I can say, fine, the worst show, I think I broke a B string, and that was just hard. All right, I can't play D. I can't play, oh, man, what am I going to do? That's probably the worst show. But, yeah, man, so those shows are the most meaningful, man. That's what gives you, and it's like, I played at a summer camp. So the first show I come, and it's funny, it's the same summer camp that I did when I played with the counselor. So fast forward, now I'm a grown man at the same first, like, whoa. I played the songs, and I'm like, I had a song called Castle, very cool. We played it, and I left. They said, come back next year. I come back next year, and I remember we'll find the video, and I start playing, and I do a little, because I don't do it with the guitar, I do it with the recorded version, and all of these kids are singing every single word. Like, it had been years since I'd seen that, you know what I mean? Like, it had been years, and it was just amazing because you stop and you go, how many times did you hear the song to be able to hear to say every single word? You know, and I remember leaving, and I pulled over and just started sobbing. Just thank you, God. Like, wow. And there was only 30 of them, but it wasn't only. It was, these kids are 17. And they're probably, fluent and so, but it was like, wow, you made a difference.
Heck yeah.
That's cool.
You made a difference. And you don't even know how far out, like gossip, you don't know how far out it goes and what people say and like how, but just the positive. Man, what does that mean? You know? And so these are kids, they're, wow. And so, yeah, it's just, and then one of the new songs I'm going to talk about, it's like, it's in that. There's a song I just wrote. Should we tell the lyrics now or just do, I don't have it, no music to it, I just have lyrics.
Go ahead, man.
But it's just like, we'll do it live.
All right.
But it was cool. It's like, that's what I mean. I mean, just talk about evolution and evolving and what it means. And so now I have a different purpose and different like aspect of like, man, like I don't care about the finances and the fame and the, I went to what Chase did and it was great. It was amazing, cool, woo. But it's just not. I would rather play in front of 30 people or 5 people who are really engaged into what it is that God gave me. Not me, but why. I don't know why, but I like to think that maybe in that moment, if we can all have a weird reset button.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's like teleporting.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks.
Live.
We had a little issue there with the live stream, but should be back up and running now. Actually, refresh your page there.
There was no issue. You don't need, these are not the droids you're looking for. There's no problems at all. Hi.
Looking good over there now, Doug? All right, cool. We're good.
So, Chris,
it's all good.
I
I just nerded out in front of everybody, but that's cool. I'm with it.
So I want to ask you, out of all the influences that you have and all the people that you've listened to, everything,
Yeah.
if you could make the super all-star band composed of anybody, live or dead, who would be in that band? You can play in the band too, man.
I was going to ask that. Like,
Yeah, you can be in the band too.
Of course.
That's the best
Okay.
part. You get to play too.
I would say we're going to start with the most important position, which is the drums. So you're only as good, this, you're only as good as your drummer. So Carter Beauford, bass. Ooh, that's a real, I'm going to go Juan Nelson. He used to, it might still tour with Ben Harper. Me as the rhythm guitar. I'm going to go Jimi Hendrix as the lead.
Nice.
Yes. I'm going to go Stevie Ray Vaughan as the second guitar.
Ooh,
so I
very
can
nice.
put the guitar
Oh, my
down
gosh.
at night.
What a band that would be, man.
God. I'm going to go Herbie Hancock.
Whoa.
On the key. Oh my God, this would be sick. We're gonna go Dizzy Gillespie. We're gonna go Miles. We should go Miles Davis. Aretha Franklin is the background singer. Wow. We're going Etta James is the background singer. And I want to go Pink because she got actually, I'm going to go my girlfriend Danny as a background singer as well.
There you go. Cool.
Nice.
You like that? That's how you keep me loving you. Thank you. She's right there.
Gotta give the love.
You got to.
So with all that mentioned, we got some special guests on the phone right now.
Who's that, Danny? Yeah, I think that sounds like a fun band, man.
Yeah, that'd be
That
pretty
does.
crazy.
That sounds like a smoking band, dude. That would really be cool.
Jimi Hendrix has
and
been
Stevie
brought
Ray
back
Vaughan
from the
together.
dead a couple times in that question,
Jimmy
believe it or
and
not.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, yeah.
my God.
Hendrix has come up a couple of times
Yeah.
when we've asked that one, which it should, you know.
Yeah.
It's understandable
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
But Hendrix and Vaughan together, oh my God.
Can you imagine them both doing a thing of Little Wing?
Oh,
Stop.
man, that would be sick.
Okay. God, when I pass away and come back to heaven, will you please allow me to see that? That would be so cool. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I want to sit in on that jam.
And we want to sing John Lennon songs. So we'll perform songs written by John Lennon. How dirty is that?
I don't know. What's Herbie Hancock going to do? Okay.
Come on, brother. Ooh.
Herbie's great. for
Herbie's
background
scary
sounds and
good.
stuff.
Ooh.
Scary good. Yeah, that would be a man.
I
we
always
could-
feel like we
different
should
level,
do like
that's for sure.
Like basketball, like all-star team 1, team 2. So my backup, drummer is Omar Hakim, right? Bass, we're gonna go. Jaco? Would you do that?
Jaco Pastor.
Right, we do
Yeah.
Jaco for bass.
Victor Wooten.
Ah! Ooh, God, I'd have to go Vic just because I ran into Victor Wooten and he was really, really cool. I met him at where were we? In LA?
What about Bootsy Collins?
Bootsy will upstage me. I can't have Bootsy. Sorry, Bootsy, you're too good. Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's pretty good. The guitar, BB Buddy Guy. Isn't it funny? Buddy Guy and BB King. So you got the same. Yeah. That's actually really cool.
That'd be nice. Mm-hmm. See, now I'd put Johnny Lang in there. Because next to Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
Johnny Lang's my favorite there, boy. Yeah. It's a white boy with the soul of an 80-year-old black man.
I'll tell you how that feels when I'm 80. I'm like, really, that sounds cool. So yeah, no, that's yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, cool, man. We appreciate that, my brother. So Chris is going to be performing for us in just a little bit, but before that happens, let's find out what happened with the show poll.
Very good, very good. So for the show poll, what it was this week was, which Seattle rock band do you think made the biggest impact on the grunge movement, music movement scene back in the early 1990s? That would be Soundgarden or Pearl Jam. Now, you know, the vote's actually really close. It's really close. Basically, as I call it, I mean, you know, coming from, you know, the transition from the 80s for me and being into heavier music, honestly, it was Soundgarden. You know, I mean, yeah, of course, you're going to think of Nirvana and some of these others, but I mean, between these bands, it was definitely Soundgarden. I mean, you know, the covers that I played, you know, back then, you know, not that I never played any Pearl Jam, but it was Soundgarden, you know, Rusty Cage, Outshined.
Song, yeah.
You know, that's really what it was for me. It's really what it was for me. Angie, what do you
I
think?
agree. 100%.
Soundgarden?
I love Pearl Jam, but Soundgarden, hands down.
So I feel
Big
like
fan.
the question was, who had the most influence? Is that what it was?
Right.
Most influential?
Right.
Okay, so I believe the answer is actually Pearl Jam. This is why the answer is Pearl Jam to me. That I think Pearl Jam came in like the 90s. They were the first grunge band, I believe, to actually be signed to a major label. So just them being signed to a major label, being first, makes them almost they win by default. I think in like I think they were actually called like the greatest rock band at one point, which Soundgarden didn't get those accolades. I would say that Soundgarden, because I think they got together in like 84, 85.
You're exactly right. They were together in 84,
right.
but
So
they
because
didn't really get anything until the 90s.
Until 90s, and that's what I'm saying. It's like you give it to Soundgarden because they were the inventors, but sometimes the inventors aren't the ones that get the accolades.
Right, true.
And so I think what happened was Nirvana showed up, and then Pearl Jam. So it's like boom, 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 and it's it's like the tipping point. They say 2.4% of a population finds out about anything, then everyone knows about it. So Pearl Jam just kind of came in at the right time. There's MTV blew up the way it did, so I feel like again, with Even Flow and with Alive, I mean, and Jeremy, Lord Almighty, that's where I feel like the answer to that question is Pearl Jam. But I agree with both of you in the Soundgarden, like, because I'm like, dude, like, when people say, and it's nice, when people say like, oh, you're better than, you're not better than the original. Stop. And the original is Soundgarden, right? So that's why I'm like, they basically invented the sound. So how can influential? But it's almost like a double-edged sword.
Where you
question.
at on that, Todd?
That's pretty tough. You mentioned Nirvana. I don't really like Nirvana, but we were going to put that on the poll, and we decided not to because we think it would have been a landslide. Because Nirvana actually was the ones that brought that whole grunge movement in.
Yes.
So because of that, they had that huge impact. But so we put Soundgarden and Pearl Jam against each other for that reason, because we knew it would be a much tougher thing.
I like that question.
Now, personally, I like Soundgarden better. But when it comes to making a bigger impact in the music movement of the 90s and the early 90s, I would have to say Pearl Jam did too. Now, I agree, Soundgarden definitely came around first. I think actually they were probably more grunge
because
than
they were,
any of the other bands,
Yeah.
as far as that goes. And so, to me, I like them better. But they also did Temple of the Dog with both Pearl Jam and Soundgarden.
That's what you were talking about the other night, Angie.
Hey.
Which is a mix of best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds because
true.
it's both bands combined, really.
Yeah,
There's
that's
elements of
true.
both bands in that, and I love Temple of the Dog. That was an
Right.
excellent band, but I would say the one that made the bigger impact was Pearl Jam.
I think if you think throughout, history, and I know we're saying the 90s, but I would almost go Soundgarden because of Chris Cornell dying. That ripple effect of what that did, of him taking his life and like bringing more awareness. Like, you don't really hear about that with Pearl Jam. Like, that's, you started here, and then that shook up people and changed us to something.
Here's a trip, because the other grunge band that I thought of maybe doing here, and I didn't want to do Nirvana because I knew they'd steal it. Another band that I thought if we put up against these guys that would steal it would be Allison Chains.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now here's a trip: is out of all these bands, all the lead singers are dead except for Eddie Vedder.
Yep.
Right.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Which is
That's
wow.
Right.
What were these kids doing in Seattle, man? I mean, I don't know what they were doing, but it was messed up because they're all freaking gone now.
Would you guys think
Same with
that
Stone
Temple
Pilots.
Pilots.
Yeah.
Singer
Also.
Young, yeah.
Scott Weiland?
Yeah.
Yep. I got a chance to see them live too. Yep. That's just there's something to be said about grunge music. Of course, I don't play grunge. I studied it. Of course, like any of us, we loved it. We were all, introduced to it and force-fed it because that was all it was there.
Yeah.
But
took
there
the
was
guitar
a
solos
pain
away.
associated with it. You look
True.
at Kurt Cobain, you're like, God, that guy's hurting. You look at, like, what's going on? Like this, and I think that
He didn't
spoke
like the spotlight.
for.
He really did.
He really did. He was like, but it spoke for a class of people, a generation of people who were feeling that said pain, kind of like, like, I need an easy friend. I don't wanna, I mean, it's just like, I don't know, man. There was something really beautiful about the beautiful pain, about beautiful, there's something really beautiful about that we all experienced, we all felt it, and man, just it makes you wonder what would the music that they would create now if they were still here.
Yeah, it makes
Isn't
you
it
wonder
crazy
that about
sometimes?
anybody that's
Yeah,
passed. Yeah.
like-
So with that pain, it looks like how they dealt with their pain was drugs and music.
Right. That escape.
You know?
Because here are two elements that I can control. I can control what drug I put into my body and let it do what it do. I can control what music I put out and play. I can't control anything else. And then it's like this whole and it's wild because of the stuff that's uncontrollable in the outside world is what makes me go inside and deliver this.
You go out and
Crazy.
you have a good gig. You know how hard it is to sleep after that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a
a
drug all the
natural
way.
high.
Yes.
You
Natural
know.
high.
Yes, I
And
played.
what's a trip is you wake up the next morning. You know what? You don't feel like that, and there's only one way to get that feeling back, and that's to
back
go
on that
out and get on
stage.
stage.
And it's nuts because I saw these little children. It happened to me when I was 4. I saw these little children in my show on Sunday, and they came up and they're dancing, and they just kept coming back, because that's what that does. The lights, the stage, I matter. Yes, you know.
Yep.
I mean, and it's something that I dabble with too because, as you said, I've had those amazing shows where you're just on fire. You can't, and then the music gets turned down the next day. And you're like, when do we play again? Like, yeah, I get it. And I'm just grateful that, man, I don't know what it is. I'm just grateful that I'm at where I'm at because we were pretty well successful. I've had some success, but not to the point where you've got the Chris Cornell action. Not to the point where you're like,
Right.
man, I'm gonna off myself. Like, I'm like, I'm okay with it. You know.
So believe it or not, I mean, I can understand both sides of the coins.
Yep.
And as far as Soundgarden in Pearl Jam goes, well, Soundgarden won, but I'm saying by just a little bit. We're talking 54% to 46%. And I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking probably people were kind of thinking like we
Same
were,
where, yeah.
Because that might have been the band that was the gateway band from 80s guitar solos, heaviness, where Pearl Jam wasn't. Not that I didn't like them, but it seemed like an easier transition for me to
Closer
go
to
with
mainstream.
Soundgarden for me.
Right, closer to mainstream. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, Soundgarden definitely had that aspect going for them. They were a little more fitting with the heavy metal of the late 80s going into the 90s and stuff like that, and they fit that a little bit more. So it really was. They actually, if you were going to say which one was a better transition between the two, I would say Soundgarden for sure.
Yeah.
No question about that, because they transitioned from the one into the other rather well.
So I'll tell you, going from the 80s where, I used to fast forward to the guitar solo to see what we're dealing with here, to now we have no guitar solos, recording stuff out of tune. I mean, it's like, what the heck's going on here? But
Everything's
you can't argue
auto-tuned.
with it.
It's like,
Not only that, but you went from fun, let's have fun and party music to I'm sad.
right.
I think that's where
Sad.
emo came from.
Right, it's
Like,
like,
oh,
like
man, really?
The Chili Peppers would record live. I don't know if people know that they would record live. That's why you have this like
That feeling,
that
yeah, that
feel, the
oomph,
energy. And now it's like, okay, your track, and then you go, and then we're gonna put it together. And it's just not the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
just
Early
like-
Van Halen was all live in the studio like
Yeah.
that. You feel it when you hear
Feel
that
it.
stuff, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They have that
that thing,
vibe
that
that's there.
thing.
You can
Oh,
tell.
you
You
can
can
feel
tell.
it. You're just-
Yeah, that's cool stuff. So cool, man. That's awesome. Some great stuff. We're going to step into the spotlight, and we're going to have Chris jam for us on a couple songs. So let's move it.
Cool. That was it.
Tune it or die, Chris. Tune it or die. So tonight we have a special performance from you. Our man Chris is getting all set up and ready to go here. Let us know as soon as you got it there, my friend.
Cool. So I was speaking earlier about the evolution of self and getting into more spirituality, and just I find life is happier for me when I don't really think about me, the ego sense, as I've come to understand, and and remember that there's two people living inside of us. There's the ego, which I've also come to know it means edging God out. So the ego that's like me and I did it. And then there's the spirit that really just wants peace. And so I wrote this song just the other day. I don't have any music to it, so we're just gonna do this, what it is. But it's called, I don't know, I Like Me Better. Is that sounds pretty cool. I Like Me Better. So yeah, this is the song. So I like me better when it's not me. I like me better when it's not me. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's do this. Ah, here we go. I like me better when it's not me. I like me better when it's not me. You're better when it's G-O-D. I like me better when it's not me. So many days I ran away, so many things I wanna say, so many tomorrows turned into yesterday. But one thing I know is true, that the better version of you is not the one that's always seeking praise. 'Cause I like me better when it's not me. I like me better when it's not me. Two of us driving then B. I like it better when it's G-O-D. I like me better when it's not me. I don't claim to be a saint or not a know-it-all. My parents grew up on Ringo, John, and George, and Paul. You see, I see him and everything. I hear him louder when I'm listening. I see the light in others and it makes me sing. And that I like me better when it's not me. I like me better when it's not me. With two of us driving, we just can't be. I like it better when it's G-O-D. I like me better when it's not me. I kind of messed it up, but that's okay. Because it's a brand new song, and everyone's laughing and smiling, and that's all that matters. Anyways, yeah, so yeah, you get it. Doesn't it feel better when, doesn't it just kind of feel better for you? Anyways, so that's that song.
Absolutely, brother.
All right, we'll do a song that's I'm pretty familiar with. No problems. This song is called Castle. So I became a father, and this is the first song I wrote. The idea is that when I go back to heaven, that my kids get to hear this when they get sad and whatnot, And I'm big on evolution. I'm big on pushing yourself to be more than you were before. I love that, I think that's what we're here for, It's good for everyone. It's good for God, So this is my song, Castle. This is the song that those kids were singing back to me, man. So sometimes I think about what this life is all about. Everything I forgot when I got here. Sometimes I wonder if this heaven, if this hell. It's really hard to tell, because it's not clear. I'm gonna build myself a new castle. Gonna bust out my own walls. Gonna walk the Great Wall in China. No more waiting for a telephone call. I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna smile, I'm gonna run for a while. Life is a dream and dreams come true. This life was made for me and you. For me and you. Facebook says I'm connected, I feel less connected more. We're typing happy birthday, we don't call you anymore. Got a new friend request, don't know none of them. After I accept, I won't hear from them again. 'Cause I admit to you, we really don't know a thing when we think we do. Yeah, this life is just a lonely road. And oh, I know that one day we won't be here anymore. So I'm gonna build myself a new castle. Gonna bust out my own walls. Gonna walk the Great Wall in China. No more waiting for a telephone call. I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna smile, I'm gonna run for a while. Life is a dream, dreams come true. This life was made for me and you. For me and you. This is for my boy. So long ago, I was just a little boy. Got a little boy, and I'm so glad that he's here. Believe in miracles, every day's a miracle. I look him in his eyes, and I know that God is real. I admit to you, I really don't know a thing. When I think I do, you know it's true. 'Cause this life is just a lonely road. Oh, I know that one day I won't be here anymore. So I'm gonna build myself a new castle. Gonna bust out my own walls. Gonna walk the Great Wall in China. No more waiting for a telephone call. I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna smile, I'm gonna run for a while. Life is a dream, dreams come true. This life was made for. I'm gonna build myself a new castle. Gonna bust out my own walls. Gonna walk the Great Wall in China. No more waiting for a telephone call. I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna smile, I'm gonna run for a while. Life is a dream, dreams come true. This life was made for me, and life is a dream, dreams come true. This life was made for me, and life is a dream, and dreams come true. This life was made for me and you.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Way to go there, brother.
Very
cool. Love that song.
Very cool.
Yeah, I love your Facebook stuff in there that you put in social media stuff. It's so
can't
true.
be more true than that.
So true, man.
But
so
isn't
true.
it? It's like
We're the most connected we've ever been, but we're not really connected anymore.
Yeah.
We're not. And so the song before and the lyrics, where I know I kind of messed it up, but I then made another reference to social media. I said, so many days I ran away, so many times, so many words I wanted to say, so many tomorrows turned into yesterday. But one thing I know is true, that the better version of you is not the one that's always seeking praise. That was a shout out to people who go to Instagram and they're waiting to see the likes, and you like it, and that is not the best. Like, dude, if you love you and you know who you like, you don't care about that stuff.
Right.
I don't need need your approval. I was made with the mountains and the hills and the animals and all that, and I'm here with all of this stuff. Man, that's enough to make me be like, I'm cool. I don't need someone that I don't know to be like, you're cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, brother.
That same kind of, whatever.
All right, so we got time
on?
for one more here. We're running a little late, but you can play my favorite, right?
My guy. She's all right. This is not Todd's favorite because he looked at me in my eyes and was like, "Ah." So I'm gonna put that out there. That's my boy, but not my boy. You know what I'm saying? All right, my bad. My dog. This song is called Cavalry. It's available on iTunes. My arms remember holding you. My hands remember just the way you feel. They're all that I have when you're not around. My eyes long for the sight of you. The sweet smell of your perfume lingers. My senses don't make sense to me, but I still know that I lie alone. I say some things you never would believe. I lie and wonder where you are. So look me up and tell me that your nights are far too lonely. I'm the only cavalry you need. Anytime you feel the same, just call my name. I'm yours. Just tell me that it's not too late to hold you. You and I can never be alone. Anytime you feel the same, just call my name. I'm yours. I'm sorry if this sounds a bit cliche. Boy meets girl, he falls in love. Complications don't do much to complement my needs. I promise I'll be good both night and morning. Wanna be the one to cry your name. I wanna give you everything. You'll never have to ask if we can just drop this mock indifference. We can just redefine romance. The mistake we be making with chances not taken are larger than I get to know. So look me up and tell me that your nights are far too lonely. I'm the only cavalry you need. Anytime you feel the same, just call my name. I'm yours. Just tell me that it's not too late to hold you. You and I can never be alone. Anytime you feel the same, just call my name. Look me up and tell me that your nights are far too lonely. I'm the only cavalry you need. Anytime you feel the same, just call my name. I'm yours. Just tell me that it's not too late to hold you. You and I can never be alone. Anytime you feel the same, just call my name. Look me up and tell me that your nights are far too lonely. I'm the only cavalry you need. Anytime you feel the same, just call my name. I'll be running too.
Nice, brother.
Very nice.
Very good. Very
Very
good.
nice.
Guys, thank you for having me, man. That was great.
Thanks for being here, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
See how I did that?
Hopefully you get there.
Forcing myself, man. I'm sorry. Let me stop. Let me stop.
That's perfectly all right, man. Perfectly all right.
Sounds
Thank you
good,
so
man.
much to Chris McCarty for being on the show tonight. And, of course, we want to thank Bake More Pies for letting us do this here at the studios. They're always so helpful to us and definitely a great thing. Great facilities here. If you're looking to do any video work or you want to do a show like this or your own show or anything, facilities are available. Just check it out at bakemorepies.com, and you can find out more about it and contact them.
Now, you're not going to want to miss. We have the next couple shows coming up are awesome. Tuesday, March 5th, we have a very special in-studio guest, Steve Lynch, guitarist for Autograph. And on March 12th, we have another special guest. The in-studio guest is Peter Klett, the guitarist from Candlebox, Apollo Under Fire, Lotus Crush, and Red Light Music. They'll be discussing their music with us and let us know what they have going on. Also, we interviewed Jeff Scott Soto, singer with Yngwie Malmsteen, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Sons of Apollo, as well as Soto. We did that the past week.
He was also one of the vocalists from the Rockstar movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, his resume goes on and on. Awesome musician, a very cool guy.
Yeah,
very cool guy.
cool.
So we have that interview coming up on our show real soon. We want to thank Doug Myers and our friends JD Thunder, Gary Schutt for hooking up with these interviews for us. I mean, just awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Be
for
sure to
sure.
stay tuned for these.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be great. Along with these guests, we have a few others in the works. And the interviews that we just got at Full Throttle Magazine Expo a couple of weeks ago, that's going to be coming up. You're coming your way here very soon as well. So we have some really great stuff coming your way that you won't want to miss. So keep tuning in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Be sure to visit our website at thesoundeffectshow.com, where you can see previous shows and find out what's coming up by checking out the show calendar. You'll be able to find everything there. While you're there, be sure to click on the links to visit our social media pages and add us, like us, and subscribe us. Angie,
I want to
thank you for
Angie,
coming in
absolutely.
tonight. Appreciate you.
It's been fun.
It's always good when we get
Super
much more.
fun. Love Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love you too.
Chris, thanks again for being here, man.
Thank you, guys.
Greatly appreciate you. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And we will see all of you on our next show. See ya.